Okay, I think we're good now. I play some songs and I have a problem now with the first broadcast. So this one we are going all Seattle. Thank you. Joe Boy 2 yes was okay. Let's see.
Nobody knows tomorrow. When you see me, show me some love. Oh. I was dreaming for the corner. Show me middle finger to me up, then I triple double my hustle. I like it. Girl, them know my name. She wants it on my head. I dey preach like TV. We dey do am neck. Don't do me neck. Hey, little bastard.
I'm a bastard.
We go live
I'm prosper. Hasta la vista. Can't continue. Can't continue.
Aquasia obey before you complain, yo.
I'm black, we're swing you. Saddam Hussein, yo.
Terrorize the whole community. Turn the city upside down with impunity. Many dead the city, little opportunity. Go and suck your mom before you question my ability. I can't complain, yo.
In my size, you can't continue.
Aquasia obey before you complain, yo.
Before you complain, yo. Alright, 3 people now. Let's roll up.
I know they say what I know me. So if I tell you say I like it, you got me confused. I'm in the mood. In my shaka, what you want me, I got you.
I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood.
In my shaka, what you want me, I got you.
I'm in the mood.
I be that guy when you do me about. I did for your house, so I'll be your dog. I be that guy when you do me about. I did for your house, so I'll be your
Mommy, do you believe in sucker chances? Mommy, do you believe in so tight? Where are you guys? Come on. I have two now. Quick, quick, quick. Tonight. I put the things I could do to you tonight. You know for me, yeah. I'm ready, Gabaja. Yo, Mother Mojo. Now you say you want me, I'm ready to not. Baby, Gabaja. Yo, Mother Mojo. Now you say you want me, I'm ready to not. You. Yeah. You're not so but they surely partially to test you. I darling, do you? My baby girl, if you say you want me. Where are you people? Come on, I'm waiting for you. Only day, another back up when I wake up in the morning and the first car.
Go to the movies. Alright.
Did that day.
Can't fuck with your man them. Talk too much, me no like them.
See you for first time fan. No a couple of Rebecca Canson. Yeah, punk with your man them. Keep the advertisement passing.
No new friends, that's the anthem. That's the anthem. That's the anthem. Can't fuck with your man them. Be a problem, you know. They be never come to me, no. See, one jam, you know. Massage on your cam, you know. Man, you just a fuck up and bullshit.
When you wake up, you do shit. Crash, you lose it. But she forgot you bad and bougie. I'm a feeling you fake. Mechanics, what didn't mean to say so. Look at my baby, I never play to. I will never mind in my favor.
I feel like this is where we date, you gon' never be stable.
I'm in Jimmy, man, chicken from with your man them. Nah, nah, keep you going for something. No, a couple of Rebecca Canson.
Can't fuck with your man them. Keep the circle tight, men pass them. No new friends, that's the anthem.
That's the anthem, that's the anthem. Can't fuck with your man them. In trouble, and never when I'm in trouble. And you need time, it's a minute. Don't fuck with you now, it's your freedom.
If I fuck with you now, then you're freedom.
If you fuck with you now, I can't fuck what you do now.
She won't ride with me sooner.
She will ride me sooner. Can't fuck with you too bad. Can't fuck with your man then. Think too much and I like them.
See me with my people, you for stand from.
No a couple of Rebecca can say. Where are you niggas?
Keep the circle tight, men pass them. No new friends, that's the anthem. That's the anthem. That's the anthem. Can't fuck with your man them. Me a problem, you know. Me a problem, you know.
I see you, timeless.
Where my G's, yeah. Oi.
I'll see you in the chat.
Yeah. Huh? Yo.
I love Chris Rich.
My bros, young bull coming, I'm dealing with goals, yeah. One test, yeah, breath, yo. Getting my packs and building my bones, yeah. On the road coming, you found back up, me, I know we coming. Young bull tracks, yeah, I'm killing your dummies. Went to me for this, that time coming. Yeah, I'm on guard, wishing a grave for my dogs. That I remember, but the field got lost on my guard. Yeah, I know I saw to me more. Cause the shot said this man's got me lost, so I drawn for them on the line.
Whoa.
Big stacks, so I run for it by the line. Got rings, I go hard down, niggas, I'm better than whoa. African boy with a big drip, yeah, I grind for the big pick, big twig, more mess like I'm a big fish, big stage G with the day one stop this.
Spin them. Alright, 11 people now. Let's make it 20 and start. I need 9 people more. Yeah.
The boys just way too bossy. Double platinum from bossy, 5 times double platinum, get them off me.
Yeah.
I'm a real foul, you like Joffrey. I am the king, nobody can't stop me. See when I get the job done, that's I was cooling, I was resting. But this year, next year, I'm on the next
For real. This cause the soft, Charlie. Soft. It's just the same question that I'm going to bring, and I mean, I'm here to serve you.
answer. Bare chest thing when I walk through Ghana. And I don't do beef, I do karma. I swear we're the last ones left. The man them love cuff, cuff, queff, and anyone.
Alright, 10 people, 10 more, then you go. Fly. I understand some are having a control class, so. Oh, 2 are gone. What are people doing? Come on.
Straight to the top, why I go stop? I started with 0. Started from nothing. DC I chalk, but you still the flop. It might be your ego. I take off my T now, be any BB. I think I'm a hero. I rap it Biggie, I'm learning from Diddy. You niggas be emo. Black boy, then they find me like emo. Black kids, money played, yo, fuck games. If you get
If you want any song, you can request, eh? This is a sacrificial video. The first one I did, they blocked it. They restricted it. Some of the hip hop side played. Guy who shake bow.
I still know the fuck with the other side. I still the right with my bros for all of my niggas.
Y'all making mama. Y'all making mama. Oh, where are these people? Come on.
I love Chris Rich.
You can request a song, right? Yeah, for those who are here, you can make me change the song to whatever you want.
Well, you know I've been around all time. I give everybody the best advice. I make the people don't they lose their minds. I've been doing this all my life. When I'm on the beat, I set it on fire. And when I step in, I'll be right on time. I hope you ready, we go jam all night. In any weather, whether rain or shine. You go my you better on your hazard. And that the money don't matter.
Those living, we are waiting for 10 more people start. Huh? So if you leave, how do you read the 20? Come on. Celebrate. Celebrate tonight. Celebrate tonight. Celebrate. Celebrate you. Celebrate.
We got the party on fire. We will never ever stop, no never. With the travel, we don't need no visa. From Lagos down to Alaka. Oh, we celebrate. Got to jubilate. Oh, oh, baby, we celebrate. We must do jubilate. Yeah, yeah.
Because the party don't scatter. You go man pasa. You better on your hazard. And the money don't matter. Because the party don't scatter.
Celebrate tonight.
Celebrate tonight. Celebrate tonight. Show them how them go. Celebrate tonight. Celebrate you. Celebrate.
All right, so I mean, those see okay, well, another person is gone. Do you think we should start or we should wait for the 20 people? Let me see your reply in the comment section, please. There's the chat session.
We go chop life, we go make high, also we go carry. But I wanna answer again, and in the year all of the bad man them. Give thanks for life again, we go take them to the dance hall again. Time and time again, if we
Never come again. Brew with a pop champagne. Forget about the worry, girl, come dance again. Run your body. And then TV down the same I lock it. Okay, let's go. All right, let's go. Please let me see you in the chats. Are you ready? I mean, those ready, let me know. And we just begin. I want to know if you are active. Solomon, I've seen you. Yeah, shall we begin or we should wait? Right now we have 4 people left. Good. If the 4 of you are ready, let's roll. I won't see you. If you are ready, say ready, then we just kickstart. I mean, you are waiting for people and people are leaving. What sort of thing is that? If we should go, I won't see in the chat. Should we wait for more people or we should go? Me to my promo, I mean, wait for which people? I mean, it's all the time. Almost 6 now. Okay, 26 minutes. Justice, why should we wait? Why do you think we should wait? Yeah, it will be recorded. It will be recorded, but I need your engagement. I can't explain every little thing. And the number 6, I suggest you should be solving the questions. But I'll try as much as possible to explain some concepts as I solve the questions so that it will be understandable at least. Yes, but it will be best you are here to ask questions. But yes, the video will be posted after the stream. It should be on the channel to view, so you don't need to worry. Just will thank you, my bed. Oh God, myself. Alright, 11 now. 9 more. I think you can make it 9. We can make it 20. 9 more. 9 more. 9 more, then we roll. Be destiny. Show me a sign. Oh my God. No, we don't need to start with this one. I'm so confused, I've been daydreaming. Yeah, to be recorded, you don't need to worry. But I will need you guys here for this in how do you call engagement, because I could record for you, but I chose to be here with you. So be here to ask all the questions you have, and let's roll. Over the cash. Oh. I be destiny. Show me a sign. I be destiny. All right, 6 more. 6 more, then we go. Six more. We have 42 views. 6 more. I be destiny. Show me a sign. I be destiny. Ade, mo ni mbere. Kona no ayeding, nana. If you take life too seriously, you can die. Okay, I think I'll stick with the 13 over the time. Anyway, Justice, can we begin now? Okay, Justice says we are ready. So yeah, I was waiting on his word. Okay, so let's begin. Let me lower this. Okay. All right, so we begin with this one. Yeah, so unit one covers the Euler's theorem. Oh, are you guys ready? Please let me see some fire in the chat, and then I will know you guys are active. If you're ready, let me know, please. I don't want to begin without, not even a single person. I'm offering Durana. That's some funny home and Dallas up. This shit, me and Nema for the camera. I'll get a person, Yami Kanana. I play my part with the youth for starts raising up. I play my part with the youth for starts raising up. And I beg. Tell my big up. Alright, sure, let's roll. So, yes, so unit one, there are two concepts. One says that if you have a body that is rotating about two different axes, or which is to say, if you have a body that there are more than one rotations on it, then the total angular velocity is going to be angular velocity 1 plus angular velocity 2, right? In like manner, the angular acceleration is also going to be what? Alpha 1 plus alpha 2. All right, but then in finding alpha 1, which is the omega 1 dt, I mean, if you differentiate all through, we are going to get the omega dt, the omega 1 dt, the omega 2 dt. That will be equal to the omega 1, or omega 1 dot plus ohm cross omega 1. All right, now this is coming from what you call the this is the Euler's theorem, and this we have the transport theorem. You have the transport theorem. So for the transport theorem, you're saying if you have any vector A, if you differentiate that vector with respect to time, it's going to be that vector, the change in that vector with respect to time in its own frame plus some angular velocity cross A. All right, so I mean, for those who are not seeing my tutorial session, this will be a bit problem for you, but I'll still find a way to see how best I can explain with this question. Okay, I can't say all here because I'm going to waste a lot of time. Okay, so this is a transport theorem, right? So any vector, for any vector that is being moved by another vector, right? So there's a vector A and is being moved about by another vector then if you want the change in A with respect to time, it's going to be the change in A due to itself plus the change due to the angular velocity that is moving it around. All right, so I'll explain with this question. Now let's get to this question. In this question, we have a ladder, right? And then there's a fire truck, and then we have okay, so the ladder is rotating about the z-axis, which is omega 1 given here, and then the angular velocity, which is omega 1, is given as what? 0.15. all right, 0.15. Let me put the rad per second there, and then which is increasing, so omega 1 is increasing, which is what? Alpha 1, and this alpha 1 is just the same as what? Omega 1 dot, right? The change due to itself, like I stated here. And that's, please, what time are we starting? Province, you're already in it. So alpha 1 is equal to 0.2 rad per second square. Okay, but then you wouldn't, or you don't want to be writing your values like this. Why? Because we are working in vectors, right? So these are magnitudes, so you need to find a direction. Now for every rotation, the axis about which the rotation is happening about, right, is what gives us the direction. So if we are rotating about a particular axis, the direction of the rotation is along that axis. So here we are rotating about the z-axis. That means our direction will be along the what? The z. And what do we use for directions in vectors? The I, j, and what? K. So in here, you are rotating about the z-axis, which is what? K. Now, as to whether it's positive or negative, that has got to do with the type of rotation or the sense of rotation. If we are rotating in a sense that is against the clock, what is anti-clockwise, then we are going to have positive direction. If we are moving in a way that is against or as along the clock, going this way, which is clockwise, that will be what? Negative. So if you understand that, then we are going to say our omega 1 is equal to 0.15 k, and then alpha 1, which is the same as omega 1 dot, is equal to 0.2 k. So yes, you'll be tempted, for those who, I mean, whether they don't go to class or whatever it is, or those who don't know, you may be tempted to work in this. These are scalars, we don't use this here. We need both magnitude and direction. Now the next is, at the same instance, it is rotating about is rotating at omega 2, which is 0.6 rads per second, while increasing at this rate. So yes, now as we are rotating about the z-axis, it is what at the same time rotating about the x-axis, right? So we need to find omega 2, right? So omega 2 is going to be 0.6, and it's about the x-axis, which is what I, right? And then alpha 2 is about the same x-axis, which is going to be 0.4 I. All right, so now what we see here is that, if you have any question you can ask, and I'm checking the chat. What we see here is that if this rotation is happening, this one will be happening at the same time. So it's as if, let's say there is a plate here moving about like this, and then the angular velocity is happening, this or the one about x is happening in it. So the one moving about the z-axis is carrying the one moving about the what, the x-axis, right? So yeah, or in this case the transporter is going to be this. we'll talk about that. So yes, the question says determine the angular velocity. All right, so clearly we have two angular velocities about on the ladder. From the Euler's theorem, if there are more than one angular velocities, we need to add all of them to get the total angular velocity. That's great. So our angular velocity omega will be equal to what? Omega 1 plus omega 2, and this is going to be 0.15 k plus what? 0.6 I, and you add your rad per second. All right, now alpha, which is going to be alpha 1 plus what? Alpha 2. Now see this, this is my equation, and I'm using alpha to represent the total change in both omega 1 and omega 2 over here. But the question chose these alphas for what I call omega dots, right? So you could see here alpha 1 equals omega 1 dot in the question here. All right, so their alpha 1 and my alpha 1 are not the same. I get in it. So usually I rather choose to make it the omega 1 dt plus what? The omega 2 dt. This in the big xyz frame. All right, we will explain this later, or I will put some videos here to explain this. So yeah, we're going to find the change in omega 1 with respect to time and change in omega 2 with respect to time. But at least don't forget that I mentioned that omega 1 is carrying omega 2, meaning omega 1 is transporting what? Omega 2. So if we want omega 1, the omega 1 dt, this is going to be omega 1 dot plus what? The transporter. Now omega 1 is transporting omega 2. Omega 1 is not being transported by anything. So we have 0 cross what? Omega 1. This omega 1 dot is the same as the alpha 1 given in the question, which is 0.2 k. All right, so the omega 1 dt is going to be 0.2 k. Okay, now the next is to find the omega 2 dt. The omega 2 dt will be equal to omega 2 dot plus omega 1 cross what? Omega 2. So here the transporter is the omega 1, which represents the ohm in this formula, and the vector we are looking to differentiate is the a. Over here is what? Omega 2. So if you want to differentiate omega 2, it will be omega 2 dot plus omega 1, which is the transporter, cross what? Omega 2. All right, so now omega 2 dot was given as what? Alpha 2 in the question was 0.4 I. So you have 0.4 I here plus our omega 1. Omega 1 was 0.15 k, so we have was 0.15 k crossing omega 2, which is 0.6 I. Great. If you have a question, let me know. If you can't see anything, let me know. If you can't hear, let me know. If you need a new music too, yeah, I'm here for you. So yeah, yes, the omega 2 dt, they're going to have 0.4 I plus 0.15 k crossing 0.6 I. So here we are going to do a little what? Cross product. Right, so how do you go by the cross product? It's just like the basic algebra we knew. If I have 2x multiplying 4, or let me make it p, multiplying 4r, I will have what? 8 into brackets p times r. Right, so you multiply the numbers, then you multiply the variables. So here this is cross. But if they are scalars, it's the same as the times. But if they are vectors, or the vectors, it's a different story. So here, the 0.15 multiplies 0.6. We have 0.15 times 0.6. That will multiply. Then you have k cross what? I. Right? Now, after everything, I'm not expecting you to be doing this basic stuff. You just go straight. Now, k cross I. We use this method. So you write I, j, k in the counterclockwise direction against the clock direction. So if you want to cross two vectors, you go and stand at the first one, k cross I. So the answer will be the next one, right? And then it's along the path. So the answer will be the next one, and what? Positive. So k cross I will be what? Positive j. Then we multiply 0.15 to what? 0.6. Let me see what that gives me. (0.15 times 0.6). Come on. 0.15 times 0.6. That is 0.09. So this is going to be 0.4i plus 0.09 j. So yes, if we come back to our acceleration, we said what alpha is equal to the omega 1 dt plus the omega 2 dt. Then we know the omega 1 dt is this, the omega 2 dt is this. So our alpha will now be what? 0.2 plus 0.2k plus 0.4i plus 0.09j. So your angular acceleration is going to be 0.4i plus 0.09j plus 0.4k rad per second square. All right, so this is the first part of question 1. If you have a question, let me know before I move on. 1 minute. If you have a question, let me see in the chat session, please. If you have a question, let me know. What did you say? Hey, you guys are not watching or what? Come on. You have 69 views and 6 are currently watching, and the 6 are not even replying in the chat. But you're in there. I don't see in the chat, please. Shall we move on? All right, they'll be responding. All right, so now let's write the angular velocity down. All right, so let's keep this guy. The handwriting there, that should be, I'll be okay, right? For now, pardon me. Okay, so the next is to find the linear velocity and linear acceleration of the top A of the ladder at this instance where theta is 30 degrees, right? And then the length is what? From here to here is 12. It's 12. Okay, 12 meters. All right, so let's say at this point, let's label it O. Then for general motion, if I have 2 points in space, right, say point A and point B, and I want the velocity of A, right, then I will say that velocity of A can be equal to velocity of B plus velocity of A relative to B plus angular velocity of A B cross R of A relative to B. Okay, so what I'm saying is that the velocity of A should be equal to velocity of what? B plus the relative velocity of A with respect to B. Now the relative velocity can be in two forms, right? It could be that B is, or A is sliding relative to B, so that will give you this relative velocity. And then if they are rotating, they can also have what? Rotational relative velocity. So all these come together to give you what? A relative velocity. Obviously, if A is not sliding relative to B, this goes to 0. So if A is not like a slot, something like this, that changes distance with respect to B, but rather it is on two ends of a rod, meaning the distance between A and B never changes, then the relative velocity due to sliding goes to 0. Okay, so in this question, it's rather unfortunate, we have A and O, right? So the A and O, we are going to say that velocity of the point A is equal to velocity of O plus velocity of what? A relative to O due to sliding plus the angular velocity of A O cross what? R of A relative to O. Velocity of O is equal to 0. Is a fixed point that rotation is happening about. Velocity of A relative to O is also equal to 0. The distance between A and O does not change, like I stated here. If you look at the ladder, okay, let me bring this guy. Okay, so as we can see, the length of the ladder remains the same, so the distance between A and O is the same throughout the motion. All right, because of that, there is no relative velocity between what? A and O, which is 0. The angular velocity is the angular velocity between point A and point O, which is the total angular velocity on A, and O is ground because the velocity is 0, and that is the, sorry, I'm going up and down too much. Alright, so the angular velocity is what we calculated for this one, right? So what is 0.5k, 0.6i. So omega AO equals 0.5k plus 0.6i. And then R of A relative O is the position of A coming from O, right? Or position of A compared to O. But I prefer position of A coming from O because that's what makes work easier or life easier for us. So we want to go to A, and while we are coming from what? O. So we can just move straight from O to what? A, or we can move along the y-axis and what? The z-axis. Now the angle here is theta, which is 30. So if here is L, then you're going to have what? L sine theta, L cos what? Theta. This is along the y, so it will be J. This along the z is going to be what? K. Okay, you can see. So R of A related to is going to be L sine theta j plus L sine theta k. L sine theta k plus L cos theta j, which is 12 sine 30k plus 12 cos 30j. Right, so we actually know everything here. So we can say velocity of A is equal to 0 plus 0 plus 0.6i plus 0.5k crossing 0.5 or 0.15. 0.15, sorry. Okay, so we are going to have that crossing 12 sine 6 sine 30 is going to be 6k plus root 3 on 2, 6 root 3 j. Okay, so yes, we can choose to go by the normal approach. So I'll cross this and this and this, then I'll cross this and that, right? So if I'm doing that, VA will be equal to, so I'll have 0.6 crossing 0.6i crossing 6k. So remember back in high school, binomial expansion, A plus B, C plus D. You use A to multiply this and multiply this, and use B to multiply this and multiply this. So here to use this to cross this and cross that. So if you are crossing 0.6i and then 6k, then you're going to have 6 times what? 0.6i, and I think that will give you 3.6. So we have 3.6, and then I cross k. Let's go back to our I, J, k. So I cross k is what? I cross k. You see it against the counterclockwise direction. So the answer is going to be what? J and negative. So I'm going to have what? Multiplying negative j. Then you go 0.6i crossing 0.6 6 root 3 j. 6 root 3 6 root 3 so yeah, so I cross j will be k and positive. 0.6 root 3 is going to be 3.6 root 3, and then the answer is going to be what? K. Then when you cross two perpendicular vectors, two parallel vectors, it's going to be 0. Cross A cross B is equal to A B sine theta. So if the angle between them is 0, they're going to have 0 here, and it's going to be what? 0. So if I cross K, I have 1 times 1 multiplying sine 0. Right, so if I cross I and I, it will be 0. So this and this will be 0. The next is what? The J. So I'm going to have 0.15k crossing 6 root 3 j. Now 6 root 3 j, so k cross j, right, is what? Against the clockwise direction. So it's along the clockwise direction. The answer is going to be I. Alright, so we're going to have I, negative I, multiplying, so let me put plus here, multiplying 0.15 multiplying 6 root 3. 0.15 times 6 root 3. So I have 1.558 here. 1.558. So minus 1.558. 1.558, and in direction k cross j, so direction is what? I. Okay, so altogether velocity of A is going to be minus 1.55 8I minus 3.6G, then 3.6 roots 3. Then we have plus 6.235 K meter per second. All right, so this is the velocity. All right, any question on that before we move to the acceleration? Any question on that before we move to the acceleration, please? Why you people?
Yeah, yeah. I do it for me, I do it for fun. One of the boys, Charlie, we do it for streets. So that kiddies go believe. They made it kiddies. Tell me I'm gonna count me out. Yeah, I bounce back and I show them receipts. I let them know who I be. Every day will be for lesson. Charlie, my balance be fast from my minutes. So tell me why I should be resting. Every day I put the work in. Every day I watch testing. It's funny cause later the beg me for feature. You know, be back and not interesting. No yes man in my section. Man, no one ever they miss. My deliver always on time. Before now nobody they miss. The roads where you go from the camp. Fire starter. Drop a joint to your favorite scatter. With my people love we won't be changed. With my people black lives matter. We know they fuck with the hate shit. We know they fuck with the rape shit. We know they care if you get money. If your people start them. Shorty said she was only 13. Pointing uncles that they eat. Crying and begging him please. Mommy the puppy no believe.
She's traumatized.
I see the fear within her eyes. She said, I love my mirror cause it never lies. I don't trust no fucking human cause I'm traumatized. I'm so traumatized. She's so traumatized. She won't hide them. I see the pain within her eyes. She said, I love my mirror cause it never lies. I don't trust no fucking human cause I'm traumatized. I'm so traumatized.
If you guys are not ready, I mean, I want the session to be engaging. I don't like how the stream is going. I'll get tired easily if you're not engaging.
Yeah, that my Brooklyn, go see Chirac, Southside, C12, 911, grrr to the reality, we still outside. Mine on the riches, hard in the trenches. You can't throw dirt on the underground, we thrive in it. Ghana boy stocks on the rise, Charlie, this flex know they ready. See, we're not a ride nobody way, we're the ones who started with.
Translation.
This shit goes so hard, even the ops go fuck with it, That's how you know we lit.
trust. Mean taking no loss. We be the hottest on the scene. Gemstones from the dust. Big dog, but leash. Where's the love in the streets? For my heart on the beat. See that blood on my sheets. Yeah, when me ready, me hit it heavy. I zoom out the pride of my people already. Them I say early. Me, I'm just sharing.
Where are you people? Those are available. I have 11 people watching now. Alright, is it that you guys are just watching, or you have your books and then you are working along? Because the writing, I don't even know how the video is showing it, but they're going to be blurred. If you're not working along with me, they're just going to be, I mean, I don't know. But then I want to see some engagement, please.
Crazy, we at the top and we never gonna stop. Hop in the ghost, I'ma get swayzy. I just got off of the jet and I cry. My niggas all winning,
okay. So
cause I come from the shot. I'm shooting back, I ain't ducking no shots. Got power like Samson, I cut off the locks. Shot back, Timber, in the cut like I'm Fredo Santana. Buju Banton, I hop in the Bama, the world is mine. I'm Tony Montana, I'm Pelican Fly. Diamonds on me cause I'm rapping a rock. I'ma go hard, I ain't killing them soft. I'm up in the hills, I feel like I'm Lauren, you ready or not? I like bitches who got businesses.
Alright, so for
1980 Prezi Rolly, we been working overtime. Fuck the witness, fuck the police, fuck the pigs, I don't eat swine. Son of Jacob, this shit biblical, my flow the holy God. Save money ground up in the gutter where they found us. Stones in the faint mouth rush. More vacays, more bucks, more race, more foreign trucks, more hoes on the tour bus, more Douce, poor cup.
Alright, yeah, I get it. But then if see, in my mind, I wouldn't know you are writing, so I want to see the engagement. If you are writing, that's great, but then like I need to see the engagement so that I will know I'm talking to people. Today be like people are on here putting their phones on when I'm talking to the mic, just like that. You understand? So I want to see some engagement, and then I will know people are active. Even if it's one person, I would be okay to move on with it. All right, so let's move to the acceleration. So we need acceleration of what? A. Now there is a point here O that we are going to compare the acceleration of A to. So the formula, acceleration of A acceleration of A is going to be acceleration of what? Okay, well, let's go back to the 2 points that I used here. So right here, if I want acceleration of A, it's going to be acceleration of B plus acceleration of A relative to B plus angular acceleration cross R of A relative to B plus 2 angular velocity cross velocity of A relative to B plus omega cross R of A relative to what? B. So in this case, it's not going to be B, but rather O. Okay. So acceleration of A is going to be acceleration of O plus acceleration of A relative to O plus alpha cross R of A relative to O plus 2 omega cross V of A relative to O plus live your life for fade away. Live your life for fade. Alright, so the terms one by one. Angular linear velocity acceleration of point O. The velocity was 0, so acceleration to will be 0. The relative acceleration between A and O, it was 0 here, and then acceleration to is going to be what? 0. Now the angular acceleration is what we have here. R of A relative O is what we had here. Where is it? This guy, 12 sine 30k plus 12 cos 30j. All right, so the angular velocity, which is here. So let's go. Acceleration of O equals 0. Acceleration of A relative O equals 0. alpha equals 0.4i plus 0.09j plus 0.4k, and then r of a relative O was equal to 12 sine 30k plus 12 cos 30j. All right, what's left? Angular velocity omega equals 0.15k plus 0.6i. It doesn't matter however you arrange them. I can come first or k can come first, but conventionally you should have ijk. I've been doing cooling, dancing like an animal. Okay, so let's do the substitution. The acceleration of A will be equal to 0 plus 0 plus 0.4i plus 0.09j plus 0.4k. Crossing 12 sine 30 was 6, so 6k plus 6 root 3 plus, so yeah, this is 0, so I wouldn't even write it or everything. V of A relative O is 0, so I wouldn't write all to waste my time. Then angular velocity, we have 0.15k plus 0.6i crossing. Now you notice that here it is omega cross r of A relative B, r of omega cross r of A relative O, and when we come here, everything here was 0. It was left with just this. So the linear velocity we get here is the same for omega cross what r of A relative O. So we're going to put this over there. So minus 1.558i so minus 1.588i minus 0.6j last guy 6.235k. Okay, so this is the whole expression. If you have any question you can ask, but then we wouldn't want to go through the steps we use in finding, the normal method that ijk to do this, because I have a lot of variables multiply, right? So I'm going to use the matrix approach. In the matrix approach, you have two vectors. You have to, yes, so this is vector 1 and this is what? Vector 2. This is 0, so this is 0, so the vector 2 is just this one. Okay, so acceleration of A will be equal to, so you write the matrix, so that you begin the first row is going to be your unit vector, which is I, J, K, and then the next row you writing the coefficients there. So I, the coefficient is what? 0.4. J coefficient is what? 0.09, and K coefficient is what? 0.4. Then you go to the next one. Here there is no I, so the coefficient is 0. The J is what? 6 with 3. 6 with 3, and that's 6.23. That's 10.392. Where is it? Alright, so 10.392 for J, this one, and then the K is 6. Then plus the next one, we have this matrix multiplying this matrix. So same method, we have the I, J, K, and then the I components we have 0.6, the J component we have 0, the K component we have 0.15. Then the next matrix we have minus 1.588, we have minus 3.6, then we have what, 6.235. Okay. All right, so let me clean this guy too. All right, so we are going to use the matrix method to find this and this, then we add them. So this is how it goes. It's just like finding the determinant of 3 by 3. So plus, minus, plus, same here. So if you pick I, then this will be the minor. If you pick J, this and this will be the minor. So it will be I into brackets, then the minor is just this, right? So it will be this times this minus this times this. So I'm going to have what, 6 times 0.09 multiplying 0.4 multiplying a minus 0.4 multiplying 10.392. Then the next is minus J. So minus J, we have 6 times 0.4. So 6 times 0. Yeah. Minus 0 times 0.4, that would be 0. Yeah, 0.4 I and 0.4 K. Okay. After acceleration. Anyway, let's go. Okay, then we have K. K we multiply, so this will be the minor if we pick the K. So 0.4 times 10.392 minus 0 times 0.9, which is 0. Alright, then we may continue with this one, right? So maybe some plus. So with this you have I into bracket, so this one too, this will be the minor, which is 0 times this minus this times this, but this is already negative, so you're going to be 0 minus into bracket 0.15 into brackets. This is in my melodies and I did prepare for it. So minus 3.6 multiplying 0.15. Alright, then the J, we have minus J into brackets, so that one to this is the minor, right? So I mean this and this goes, this and this are the minor, so you have 0.6 multiplying 6.235 minus into brackets minus 1.58 multiplying 0.15, and then plus K into brackets this time this, which is 0.6 multiplying negative 3 equals 0. comfortable. J to me da 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 rapping. Now watching me do. And she ran a boom so. But I'm fooling him. Surrounded by blessings. I mean, I didn't add a bit because this will be 0. So you point them one by one. Whatever is here, you simplify and then you put the I, you simplify this, put the J, simplify this. Do for all of them and then you put them together. Alright, so I'm going to do them combined. Maybe you can do it at the end. I'm going to have 6 multiplying minus bracket 6 multiplying 0.09 minus 0.04 multiplying 10.392 0.6 times 0.15 Okay, thank you. I was thinking about it. So this guy, right? 0.2, yeah. 0.2, yeah, so here will be 0.2. Okay. Meaning I'm going to have this and this times this, so that will be 0.2 here. And then whereas this and this 0 times this is 0, this times this, right? This one, okay, this and this times this. Okay. Yeah, so yes, it will only be effective in the X, so that's great. Okay, so I'm having 0.872i. Can you verify that for me? Then I have 0.6 times, so that will be minus 2.4j. Oh no. Okay, well, so I have minus 2.4j, then this one. All right. Follows me. Minus J. Okay, sure. So 2.4 minus into brackets 0.6 multiplying 6.2 35 plus 1.5 multiplying 1.58 multiplying 0.15. Hope you forgive me. You can abandon me. This is a real me. I feel like I did lose my way. Pray for me.
Pray for me. Pray for me. Be like everywhere go trouble follows me. Yeah. Pray for me.
Okay, so I have minus 6.379j here, and then the key I have 0.4 multiplying 10.392, then minus 0.6, multiplying 0.6. So that would be plus 1.9968 K. So yes, the acceleration of A will be equal to this. Will the video be saved? I need your engagement here, Christopher. Yeah, it will be saved by C. Well, okay. It will be saved and be posted on the channel. But I need your engagement so that I wouldn't be getting tired. Alright, so that is the acceleration for A relative to the ground. If you are okay, I'm okay. Then we move on. If there are questions, let me know. Let's sort them out and then. Baby, yo. Baby, yo. I thought we need to know my saying, but now going China, man. You go miss me, and I didn't stay with me. You do, feeling on me, you do, thinking on me, don't you worry. Shall we move on, please? So I will need you guys to work with me with this one. You go to hear my voice, see the choice I made for you. You must shop every city. Don't da. You give me energy, like give me energy. That me you go, like the organizer. Alright, so with this, so soft. Sorry to say, this question is very important because during the last year exam, similar thing came. Alright, so okay, Badrick, let's roll. So I'm tired. Gets me engaged. You people are not asking questions. Let's roll. So here we have these plates rotating about what? This axis. Remember what I mentioned in the previous one. The axis along which the rotation happened about, right, is where the direction of the rotation lies. So the rotation is about this axis. It's about, so okay, let's read the question. The figure consists of a straight rod ABC which passes through and is welded to the rectangular plates DEFH. The assembly rotates about the axis AC with a constant angular velocity 9 rad per second. Knowing that the motion when viewed from C, so if you stand here, if you view so if you view it from this point, you see the plate rotating in this direction. So that means we are standing here and the plate is rotating what? In the counterclockwise direction. Alright. And so we are rotating about this some angular velocity. So let's say angular velocity AC. They said it's what? 9 rads per second. This is scalar. And they said it's constant. That means omega AC dot is going to be 0. What we are looking for is the velocity and acceleration of corner F, this point. Okay, so this problem is just like what we did earlier, but this we have just single rotation, single angular velocity. So we are not going to add them or whatever it is. All right, so the angular velocity is just this. Angular acceleration is going to be what? 0, because this is constant and there is no transport theorem concept. So with that out of the way, let's go. We first have to put this in vector form. It's 9 rads, so we need to put this in vector form before we can even come to the velocity and acceleration. If permanent, if you are giving some later. So how do we know the direction where the angular velocity is moving? All right, so yes, we stated earlier that if it is counterclockwise, it is positive. Now let's take a bottle top. I'm just gonna with that. Oh, let me use this. So you realize that if I turn the bottle in the counterclockwise direction, it comes up, right? And then if I turn it in the clockwise direction, it goes down. So if I look at the diagram from the C and then I'm turning it in the counterclockwise direction, you realize that the top is what? Coming on me. That means that, so let me finish what is in there. That means that, oh, come on. If we stand at C and rotate this in the counterclockwise direction, we are going to come in this direction. All right, so that means we are going to move from A to what? To C. So that's the good news. That means at least we know the direction where the vector should move, right? So we knowing that it's going to move from here to here, what we are going to do is that we are going to find a unit vector along this direction. Okay, now along this direction, all we need is a unit vector. So you can have any vector along this direction and find the unit vector. So usually, if you are as lazy as I am, I choose from A to B, right? So A to B is also a vector along that same path. If I can get the unit vector from A to B, it will be the same as the unit vector from A to C. After all, it's just the direction I want. I don't need the magnitude. Hey. So we want R of C relative what? A. We want to come to C starting from A. Now, from the diagram, if you want to come to C, when you are at A, oh, C, I said B. Why am I choosing C? I mean, you can choose C and it will work for you. And I want to use the easier one. So we are going to be starting from A. So we can move from here to here, 175. Move here. So from here to here is positive. From here to here downwards, and from here to here along this positive. So I'm going to have 175 I minus 100 J plus 100. So yes, everything is in millimeters, so you would want to convert them to meters, but not here. But obviously, we don't need the magnitude for anything. Now, the unit vector of this, so R of B relative A, R of B relative A cap, I mean the unit vector is going to be vector B, vector, the vector all over the magnitude of the vector. This is very important, you should take notice of that. Then the magnitude is going to be just the square root of what? 175 squared plus 100 squared plus what? 100 squared, and that will be, if you wake me up, dynamics 175 squared plus 2 times how they treat me like a stranger. So we have 225 here as a magnitude. So the unit vector R of B relative A cap is going to be what? 175 on 225I minus 100 over 225J plus 100 over 225K. So this will give us a vector that the magnitude is 1 and to help us with the direction I, J and K. So the angular velocity is going to be along that same direction. So all we need to do is the angular velocity is going to be the angular velocity multiplying R of A relative B all over magnitude of R of A relative R of B relative A, sorry. R of B relative A all over magnitude of R of B relative A. Okay, so the angular velocity was 9, so I'm going to have 9 into brackets, then 175 over 225I minus 100 over 225J plus 100 over what? 225K. Then angular velocity will be, this that I'm doing is very important. In this question, this part will carry the maximum mark. So we have 9 times fraction 175. I've seen it justice. You are late, come on. So we have 7 here, 7I. We have 4, then 4K. Rad per second. For mechanical students, always don't forget your units because your lecturer would mark you down if you don't read the unit. So now we know the angular velocity. Angular acceleration is 0 as I stated earlier. Now they're asking us to find the velocity of what? F. So yes, once again, the point A is along the rod and then the whole system, the plate is rotating about the rod. Any points at the center of the rod has 0 velocity. So the velocity of A, velocity of B, velocity of C, they are all the same. So you can compare F to A, F to B, F to C, and they should give you the same results. Alright, and B is convenient for me. You can choose whatever you like. Please. Oh, no. Okay, so I'm saying velocity of F should be equal to velocity of what? B plus velocity of F relative to B plus angular velocity plus what? R of F relative to B. Now R of F relative to B, I'm standing at BF and I want to come to FA. I want to go to F starting from B. I'm going to F from what? B. Right, so I can move from here to here and then from here to here. Moving from here to here is what? Negative. And then moving from here to here is positive, which is what? The positive 100 here. Alright, so velocity of B obviously is going to be 0 because it's a point where the rotation is happening about. So all the points on the rod have 0 velocity unless the whole system is moving about another thing. That is when you can talk about A, B, C having different velocity. But as long as they are fixed at this point and this point and this is only rotating about it, they all have 0 velocity. So velocity of B is 0. The distance between B and F doesn't change. So velocity of what? F respect to B is also 0. What we are left with is just these two. So R of F relative B is equal to, so you have negative 175I plus 100K. You can send it to meters. That would be negative. What here I would be dividing, so I didn't mind. But here you have to. So 1, 2, 3. You get it in the life from you. You line them. You create things. Fully, no be against that. And then need some money. All right, so our angular velocity is this. The r of f relative b is this. So you know what we are about. 4g plus 4k cross minus 0.175i plus 0.1k. My spirit. So the vector method, the matrix method. So we have 7 minus 4, 4, and then minus 0.175, 0, 0.1. So we're going to have I into brackets 0.1 multiplying negative 4 minus 0 minus j into brackets 7 times minus 0.1 minus 4 times minus 0.175 plus k. So 0 times 7 minus 4 times, this is negative, so I'm making, okay, so minus 4 times minus 0.175. So VF will be equal to negative 0.4i, and then here wash my hands and wash my name. Yeah, wash my name. People. Energy. In the street, how to keep focus. Distractions as a man, what they say. Keep moving on. This I'm the man right now. The man of the gun got me. I'll be praying for this. So minus 1.4g, and then this is 0. See me, so evil. That was 0. Okay. Alright, so this is the velocity of f. If you compare it to b, you should get the same thing. If you compare it to c, if you compare it to a, you should get the same thing. Any question before we move on to the acceleration? And to be care people. Patrick, are you there? It's like I'm doing this with you. Control. No, but they give me shit. Okay, now acceleration of f will be equal to acceleration of b plus acceleration of f relative to b plus alpha cross r of f relative to b plus 2 omega cross b of f relative to b plus omega cross m cross r of f relative to b. So yeah, obviously acceleration velocity of b was 0, acceleration of b will be 0. Velocity of f relative to b was 0 as well. Yeah, then r of f relative to b is this. I say won't pay trouble, I make you mind your best. Come out the face. Bullets. we go. So acceleration of B is 0. Acceleration of F relative B is 0 as well. I've explained all this in the previous question. Angular acceleration is 0. Why? Because we don't have transport theorem and the velocity is constant. I said earlier that as alpha is 0 because omega dot is 0, and so in fact the omega dt is going to be what? Omega dot plus cross what? Omega. There is this is not a 0, so this part is 0, and this part too, the omega is constant, this, so omega dot will be 0, so alpha is 0. Brother, I don't rush for solid times. I get jealous. Say I want to heaven. Take me there. So yeah, our angular velocity is here. Once again, omega cross out of F relative B is the velocity we found. You see, everything was 0. Everything was 0. It was left with just this, and this is what we have here. So the velocity F we got, which is this, is what you put here. Then you put the angular velocity there. So acceleration F will be equal to 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 7i minus 4g plus 4k crossing what we have here, minus 0.4i minus 1.4g plus 0.7k. So yes, this is 3 by 3. It will be hard to do it 1 by 1. So we go back to the matrix approach. So we have I, J, K here. The first is 7 minus 4, 4. And the next is what? Minus 0.4 minus 1.4, 0.7. So we're going to have I into brackets. 0.7 multiplying minus 4 minus into bracket 4. No information says on. Then just want to see you good, never better. Hey, I've been down for days, I've been a medal. All my boys may pay whatever in me. I'm just working under pressure, RIP, my bunny. Working many times, losing on the border with the team, never be. I should go from corner kick. Then I leave. I must not fall in my beat. All my people are here, so there's no they see your crowns. They won't put the vibe, but we know they hear a sound. In this, I'm a half of you right if you want. Alright, so let's simplify that. I mean, the way I'm putting them in, you know what we're doing already, right? And it doesn't matter I bring this first or the second, it's just multiplication. Nobody go fit to take the juice. Too much negative intention, for the people, boss, time much me home support. I'm sure I'm just oh my god, it's by the first energy day. Tell you get to what I don't need it. Alright, so minus plus 4. Champion of the people. Can this work? Okay, so acceleration of F should be equal to this. Then rad, hey, I say rad, meter per second. Meter per second. Okay, so question, this is the end of question 2. Any question before I move on? If I'm not making the stream engaging, they're making it too boring. Lucy, I need replies, please.
Love it when I'm high, seeming to me when I'm down. All my people royals, you just know they see our crowns. They won't kill the vibe, but we know they hear a sound. Came this vibe, I wanna sell Charlie. Yamaha for free ride, free fee. Whoa, whoa,
okay, so Patrick, I am for. If you guys are here, let me know. All right, I will need you guys. Just this is a request. I want the chat to be engaging. That's the only way I will know you guys are active, and I will be. Oh, for social clarity. But I need engagement, right? So if I ask a question available, let me know. So what and swap? No, let me answer what. Okay, so I'm going to solve the last question, or so this question. Let me make some emphasis here. The first one we solved was, let me see if I can. Previous. This one lays emphasis on the Euler's theorem and then the transport theorem. Okay, so if you have a Euler's theorem transport theorem question that's involved the general motion question, this is how you go by it. And then this one is when the angular velocity is not about a principal axis. If it's not about the normal x, y, z axis that we know, then we have to go through this process to find the angular velocity. So this question, this is the major thing that is going to teach you, or this is the only thing that is different from the other question we saw. Okay, so there is a last type of question under unit 1 that they're going to do, and maybe we can say bye-bye to each other. Okay. Oh, Jimmy saw. That is here, by that way. See again, people are not the fellows. I see the rule. We another few refuse. We shall tell them the truth. If I not give you honest opinion over my use, then show me your palace. Okay. So there's the last one. We move on. Your feelings. So in this question, you're supposed to find what's fine. So in the figure, the rod is attached with the ball and socket joint to smooth colors A and B at the ends, and we are supposed to determine the velocity of B and then also the angular velocity of the rod. Interesting. So yes, I said earlier, there are 2 points at the end of a rod. So if I want the velocity of one, so let's say this we know velocity of A, so we look for velocity of B. Velocity of B will be equal to what? Velocity of A plus velocity of B relative to A plus the angular velocity equals what? R of B relative to A. I'm the man of the people. So VA was given. Here it's a bit confusing. See, it said what? Downward, right? The main question, you see that they say A moves toward the Z axis. Okay, in the main question, so A is moving in this direction, and it is moving toward the positive X direction. So V is going to be what? 10. Alright, before we go switch or something. Okay, then V of B relative A, what would that be? Say it in the comment section. I'll play one song for you exclusively. Then angular velocity we don't know, so I'm going to use omega xi plus omega yj plus omega zk. Then r of b relative a, we want to go to a, then we want to go to b starting from a. So you want to come here starting from here. So we may move down, and that will be what, negative 300k. Then we move in the positive x-axis, which is 200. So 200 I. Then you move here 600 G. Okay. So that will be what, 200 I plus 600 G. So you can convert this to meters. That will be 0.2. I hope this song doesn't bring restriction to this video. Hey, nobody replied this one. It was suckers. So velocity of u relative is going to be 0 because they are at the two ends of a rod. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, so velocity of b, I mean, looks like you're going to find everything within the first, so they just have to choose for them. Alright, so velocity of b, which we don't know, will be equal to velocity of a, oh sorry, so we have 10I plus 0 plus omega xi plus omega yj plus omega zk. Alright, those here should take this question seriously, because if there's any question on the unit 1, this they wouldn't skip. Then cross r of b relative a, we have 0.2i plus 0.6j minus 0.3 0.6 J. Okay, so from here B is along the y-axis, so the direction is going to be what? J. I mean, we don't have the sense, we don't know whether it's going here or coming here. So from here we need to what? Have this in terms of what? I mean, express this, want to cross this and this. So the asamo. So I'm sorry for the distraction. Say for no crying in there. So I'm going to have 10I plus, so we have I, J, K, then omega x, omega y, omega z, and then you have 0.2 here, 0.6 here, and minus 0.3 here. So from here 10I plus I into brackets, this time just minus 0.3 omega x, sorry. So this and this, I mean I, so this and this, so omega y. Then minus 0.6 omega z minus j minus 0.3 omega x plus then 0.6 omega x omega y. Okay, so VBJ will be equal to whatever is here, right? So let me put the VBJ here. Let me clean this. So at this point, we are going to compare vectors. Okay, so this is on your right, this is on your left. So the vectors on your left, you compare them to the vectors on your right. So realize that we have VB, which is what in the J direction. So it will be equal to the J component here. So you can say VBJ is equal to what? Minus J into brackets minus 0.3 omega x minus 0.2 omega z. And then the I is 0 on the left. That will be equal to 10I plus I into brackets minus 0.3 omega y minus 0.6 omega z. Then we have 0 to be equal to, and the key, right? Which is k into bracket 0.6 omega x where the point come minus 0.2 omega y. So we have equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. Now obviously we have, so you can divide through by the unit vectors and they will all run away or move, right? So VB will be equal to, so the minus will multiply through, don't forget this minus, it can be a problem. 0.3 omega x plus 0.2 omega z. Question 1. Then you have 0 equals 10 minus 0.3 omega y minus 0.6 omega z. And then 0 equals 0.6 omega. Okay. So yes, we need a fourth equation, and then the fourth equation we are going to dot the angular velocity and then the radius r of b relative a. See, they said about the angular velocity of the rod if it is directed perpendicular to the axis of the rod, right? So any vector along this rod is going to be perpendicular to the angular velocity, and we know that r of b relative a is along the rod. R of b relative a is what you are coming from here to here, and then the angular velocity is perpendicular. So this angular velocity is perpendicular to the r. And anytime you have two vectors, so I dot j will be equal to 0, right? Great. So if they are perpendicular, it means omega dot r should be equal to 0. So we have omega x I plus omega y j plus omega z k dotting r is where you 0.2 0.6 minus 0.3 0.2 I 0.6 j minus 0.2 MDK. Okay, yeah, so it's equal to 0. So omega x and omega x will dot, you get 0.2 omega x plus 0.6 omega y minus 0.3 omega z is equal to 0. So this gives us the fourth equation added to this. So here what I prefer to do is to make maybe omega z the subject and substitute, then I will have 3 equations, 3 unknowns to work with. Okay, so we can say omega z is equal to, if you bring this here, it should be equal to this. Divide by, so if I take this, I get 0.3 omega 0.3 omega z is equal to 0.2 omega x plus 0.6. So we can say omega z is equal to 0.2 on 0.3 omega x plus 0.6 on 0.3 omega omega y. Right, so 2 and 3. Let's put 2 and 3 here. So wherever you see omega z, we will put these terms in there. Alright, wherever you see omega z, we put those terms there. So when we come here, we have omega z here, we have omega z here. How do we make sure? Let me bring it to the side here. So VB will be equal to 0.3 omega x plus 0.2 into brackets 2 on 3 omega x plus 2 omega y. Plus 2 omega y. Then 0 is equal to 10 minus 0.3 omega y. Omega y minus 0.6 into brackets 2 on 3 omega x plus 2 omega plus 2 omega y. Then we have 0 equals 0.6 omega x minus 0.2 omega y. Alright, so here you see we have only VB, omega x, omega y in the equation. So VB will be equal to, say here I'll have 0.2 times 2 on 3 plus 0.3. So 0.3. So from here it's all about what you do, right? 0.3 plus 0.2 multiplying 2 on 3. And that will be 0.433 omega x, and then plus 0.4 omega y. Your equation 1. Then over here I'm going to have minus 0.3 multiplying this and this, so add into that. So minus 0.3 minus 0.6 multiplying 2. That is 10 minus 1.5 omega y, and then minus 0.4 omega x, and then you have 0 equals 10 omega x minus 0.2 omega y. So equation 3. So from here we can bring this guy here and then bring this guy here. So I'm going to punch on the calculator to find the unknowns, and then on the calculator I have something like ax squared plus I just like ax plus by plus cz equals d. So whatever I choose for x is the coefficient is what I'm going to put input there. So I'm choosing VB for x, and then omega x for y, and then omega y for what? Z. And the d is any constant that I have. So if I go to mode and then this, yeah, solve system of equations 3 by 3. Okay, so I have minus 0.4 Okay, so I have minus 0.4, minus 0.4, minus, anyway, let's take it. So the first VB, so the VB, if I take VB here, the coefficient is going to be negative 1 VB, right? So negative 1, and then omega x, that's a 0.433, 0.433, and then the other one is 0.4, and then the is equal to 0, the d is going to be 0, and then the equation 2, the omega is 0, VB is 0, so the coefficient of x is 0. Then the coefficient of omega x, which is y, is negative 0.4, and then the omega y negative 1.5, and the d is negative 10. Okay, what else? The equation 3, VB is 0, omega x coefficient is 10, 0.6. So 0.6 minus 0.2 and 0. So I have x, which is the VB. So VB equals 3.33 y, which is omega x, is equal to 2.040, and then z, which is omega y, equals 6.122. So from here, velocity of b is equal to 3.33 meter per second. But angular velocity, we need to come and put this and this in this equation to find the z. So omega z will be equal to 2 out of 3 multiplying 2.040 plus 2 multiplying 6.122. So omega z will be 2 out of 3 multiplying 2.040 plus 2 into brackets 6.122. That gives us 13.604. So the velocity of b is 3. So a, the b will be equal to 2.040i plus 6.122j plus 13.604k, and that is that for this question. Any question? Oh, you have made this enjoying. God bless you. Any question, please? Any question? Okay, so this is where we end. This is all about the unit 1. God willing, tomorrow we are going to talk about unit 2. And you should make it engaging. I'm taking it that because of the first class you had, it's making this happen. But I mean, if it doesn't get excited, I wouldn't be interested in doing it again. Alright, so yeah, goodbye to everyone who joined. Please, if you join and if not subscribed, kindly do that for me. Alright, and then hit on the notification button in case anything you get to know. Maybe after the next semester I record the subsequent videos and put them here. Whoever is also interested in one-on-one tutorial session can contact me. My number is on the flyer, and we have in-person tutorials every weekend. Alright, so you can reach out and then yeah, we discuss that. Can you explain the perpendicular velocity theorem? Okay, alright, sure. So before I go, see, anytime we are rotating about a vertical axis, so if you have a ball here and then you are rotating about the vertical axis, this vertical axis is always going to be perpendicular to the radius of rotation. I get it. So anytime there is rotation, so wait, let me see. So it's not necessarily like a theorem. It's just a concept, like just a concept. So if I take it that this point here is rotating about this point, then this becomes the radius of rotation. Then I'm saying this angular velocity and this radius of rotation must be perpendicular. Why? Because see, anytime you rotate about a certain axis, the rotation is perpendicular to the radius of rotation. So I don't see this as a theorem or anything of that sort, right? And then you can choose R of A relative B or R of B relative A, right? The only difference is that you're going to have some negative and positive changes. Negative, just like either this is rotating about this or this is rotating about that. I get it. But I'm saying, or it's appropriate to choose the R of B relative A. Suppose that is what you use in the velocity question, rather than going to find the other one. Either of them is going to be perpendicular to the angular velocity. Let me know if that is clear enough for you. Come now, let me know if you're okay. All right, so I believe with the silence he is fine. God bless everyone who joined and made the effort to make it exciting. Yeah, God bless you. Okay, tomorrow you will put in the Telegram link and all that, but you can contact me and then I'll put you in the Telegram channel. There are some recorded videos, yeah, in the Telegram channel and all that. So good evening everyone, have a good night. I'm going to find some food to eat.